People get married for various reasons. Depending on what reason they are getting married, it can be classified as healthy, which is right reasons, or unhealthy, which can be wrong reasons. Last week, we went through all the reasons on our list. Remember, it's not exhausted, but some reasons why people get married. And people are already asking, so which ones are the right reasons? Or these are my reasons. Did I marry based on wrong reasons? And so today we are going to be looking into the wrong reasons, the right reasons, from the reasons that we discussed last week. We'll be going through them today to look at which ones are the right reasons, or what motivations into marriage are the right ones and the wrong ones. And we'll be giving some examples of some reasons why they are right or they are wrong. Remember, these are our opinion. This is what we think and believe. And most of it is stemming from the scriptures, the word of God, which is what we believe. And so I know you may have some opinions and some of your views, and we'll be happy to hear them at the comment section. Or you can jump in during this live to share your views and your opinions. It will be welcomed. So let's dive into today's live. The reasons that are right and those that we believe are wrong reasons. So we went through the first one that we considered was it love and...
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about people marrying because they love someone, because they have a connection towards someone. Their minds or their souls match, and those kind of things you hear in the movies. Sometimes the word love is relative, is something that have different meanings for different people. But for today's life, we'll be still using the word love. So people marry because they say, I love him, I love her, and we are connected somehow. We just find some sort of connection, and we believe that it will work between us, and they get married. So is that a right reason or a wrong reason to get married?
I think it's a right reason. But over the time, I've had people say to me, sometimes love is not enough. So on that note, I wouldn't know what to say, whether it's right or wrong reason. But for the sake that is people marry for the reason of love and emotional connection, we know that this fosters a very great deal of mutual respect between two people, and it also helps them to know how they manage their happiness. It also helps them to know how they go into long-term kind of satisfaction in the relationship, in the marriage. But I think that's the main reason. But I've been told otherwise, that sometimes love is not enough. So if sometimes love is not enough, my hands are kind of slightly tied down, because I'm not sure again if love and mutual respect for emotional connection should be the right reason. But I'm tilting 80% towards it should be the right reason, because if you don't love someone, I think you may not even like to connect with them. So for me, it would be good reason. But until somebody prove me why they say sometimes love is not enough, then I will get some points off my 80%.
Okay, so yes, love is said not to be enough, and I understand why they say that, or the concept that love is not enough. Because think about it. If you say, I love you, you love me, is that all we are going to eat? Is that all we are going to rely on for our relationship to move on and be sustained or be successful? Sometimes love is the reason. I believe that just love alone, don't get me wrong, love is important in a marriage relationship or a relationship of an intimate nature. Love is required, but love alone cannot sustain that relationship. That the reason is because love is a feeling. is something you feel. So if you get married based on that feeling, what happens when the feeling evaporates?
Why would the feeling evaporate? Why would it make? Is evaporated make?
Because feelings are not static, they are not steady. You can't rely on them, because think about it, today you might be feeling sad and tomorrow you're feeling happy. The same place that feelings come from, the soul of man, is where all of those are emotions. They all come from the same place, and they cannot be trusted, they can't be relied on. If you rely on them, then it might disappoint you. And that's why I believe that love is not enough, even though it's required to get the relationship going on. But even though we say, let's just think about it this way, even the love itself, you have to put things into place for it to be going.
Yes,
you cannot just say I love you, or maybe on the first date or just on the wedding day. How you feel is not how you will always feel. There are things that will come to test the relationship. There will be a lot of challenges. There will be a lot of responsibilities. And all of those will test that love. So if you are not doing something to sustain it, it's going to vanish. Moreover, it's a feeling. It comes and it goes. There are some people that are really happily married. They will tell you it's not every day that they are really in love per se. It's not every day. So the other things that can sustain a marriage or a relationship of that nature are more than love. And that's why love is not enough, which means that if you are basing your marriage on love alone, then you'll be disappointed, because it can just change according to how you feel about other things.
I will relinquish the other point to you now. But there's something you said on the course of this explanation. You went off with person on the first date and he said to you, I love you. So if when you went out for a date, if somebody first date and somebody said to you, I love you, what does that mean? What do you think about that? Or has anybody said to you in your first date, maybe you went a date with somebody past, they said to you, I love you. What would you be thinking about the first date?
Okay, I don't really know if I've been on a date before. I mean, because I think dates are planned. They usually plan it and put dates ahead, and you have to dress up and be picked up, and there has to be a place. So
nobody's ever taking you out for a date, pick you up or take you somewhere?
Okay, not a first date, like when you meet somebody, what they say dating. I haven't done that. So I have not dated, because where I'm coming from, we are not so huge on the word dating. So we know and we are taught about courtship, not dating.
Whichever language. Yeah, so you speak too much English. Yeah, whichever language you use, whether it's cutting. Okay, let me put it.
But they are not the same. Okay, they are not the same at all.
Say while you were in the university, right?
Yeah.
And one particular guy, just like she said to you, Chichi, do you mind having coffee today in blah 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 Casta Cafe, and you come out for a coffee?
I haven't. I have not, because in the days that I went to school, it's not like today.
Okay. So when you are not in school, after finishing school, while you grew, when you started working as a working class person, nobody has ever said to you, come on, let's go for a meal?
Come on, I'm very sure I didn't go on a date, but I have been in courtship. So
when you've been,
they are not the same.
The first day you went for that courtship.
Yeah.
After you've been on the courtship, have you, both of you went out for a meal, you and the person?
Yes.
And on that first day you guys went out for a meal, that is where my question is saying, and the person said to you, I love you. What would be going on in your head?
I believe them, that they love me. Yeah, when somebody says that he loves me, I believe them on the first instance, before I start checking, is it really true? But on the first instance, of course, most of the time, they mean it. Yeah. Although there are some people that it is a gimmick. It is just, being deceitful. But most people
Somebody said to me, if he goes out for a date with a guy, and on the first date or even second date, and the guy say, I love you, say he wouldn't honor the next invite because he believes you haven't known me that much. Why would you say you love me? So you think, nah, this one is trying to look for something else. So,
but that is the reason I said you can't marry.
Okay.
You can't enter into a covenant as huge as marriage covenants based on I love you,
Okay.
you love me.
Okay.
Because the reason that person is telling you that is because it's in his or her mind, it's not possible or it's not sustainable, because how do you love someone you don't know anything about?
Okay.
It's believed that for such a relationship of that level, that you have to do it with based on knowledge and based on other things that we might be talking about today. So that's why it's not enough, because how you feel that period, that particular time may change tomorrow. Maybe when you figure out some other things, or when you see somebody else, it might change. So you can't bank it.
All right.
Yeah, but it is also, I would say, is a right reason and also a wrong reason. If it is standing on alone, it's a wrong reason.
Okay. The second reason that I think people get married for is they have the same values and life goals. People have the same values and life goals. Couple who align their purpose in similar situation, the tendency that they will be happy home. But I have a question in that. My question in that is, I think we don't need to have the same values, even though it is seen as one of the good reasons for getting married. Sharing same values and life goals. I'm not sure we should ideally have the same values.
Okay, so remember that what it is this is right, this is wrong. When you look at it right and wrong, what it means is which one will be more successful than the other. It doesn't mean that people who marry for wrong reasons, that their marriages break down. Some people stay, but it's best to enjoy it than manage it, like kind of enjoy it. So it's easier to manage relationships that are based on these right reasons than the ones that are based on the wrong reasons, because the wrong reasons are usually things that are fleeting, things that are passing by, things that are not steady and cannot be relied on, so can't sustain a thing. So that's why that we are talking about values and the direction in life that people are going to. What are their purposes in life? So when you get someone who aligns, whose purpose and values and their goals in life align with yours, is much better. The conversations are usually straightforward. There are no much disagreements and arguments. There is no competition. Everybody is going nearly towards the same direction. So it makes things easy. Conversations are not very awkward, because what you are pursuing is also similar or equal to what I am pursuing. So it is, let's say for instance that I am coming into a marriage, and one of my pursuits in life is to help the elderly, for instance, that I really dreamt the day that I will make enough money, gather enough funds, and then build elderly homes where people that don't have people that will look after them will be looked after. And then I come into a relationship with you, and your pursuit, your dream is to one day help all the single mothers who don't have, help, who don't have support, whose destinies are being truncated because they have no one to help them, or they found themselves in a situation that, limited them a bit. So you see that we have a common value. So when we are dealing with our finances, it will be different from someone who is planning to go on holidays. That's their main preoccupation, vis-a-vis someone who is planning to do charity. So that is one of the things. If someone is coming into a marriage and their main purpose is to please God, and then they marry someone who is not interested in that, that's not what they really want to achieve in life. It's going to be a bit challenging to, manage that relationship. So that's why it's one of the best reasons for me. It's actually one of the top reasons that are right for people to get married based on. That their purpose in life, the direction, the course that their ship is going, their values are aligning. By the way, what do you understand by values? What do you call the values?
It's things that you've set out to be your watchword, or things you may have cherished to guide you in your daily lives. That is what I think are values.
Yeah. So for me, what values are is things like integrity, it's things like not cheating someone. It's things like, okay, I want to make money, but not at the detriment of someone else, or in a situation where it will cause somebody pain.
Yeah.
So maybe in my family, we don't certain things that families hold. There are a lot of values depending on families you're coming from, and the ones that you grew up and set for yourself because you love it. Yeah, and all of that joined with your passions in life and all that drives you to say, okay, I'll marry this one, we align or not. So it's a top right reason for me to get married.
Okay.
Yeah.
The top right one for me is to raise family together.
Okay, so it's one of the reasons that people get married. Is that, do you think, we talked about it last week?
Yes, we did.
So do you think it's a right reason to get married or a wrong reason?
I think it's a right reason to get married, because with that, you have a shared goals around parenting, building a family, because when you're building a family, you're creating a unifying bond and you're contributing to the legacy of building that family. On that ground, I believe raising a family together. I also think this could also be linked to sexual satisfaction, because you can't raise a family together without having children, and you can't have children if there is no sexual satisfaction, sex in it. So I think, for me, raising family together will be the top one for me, because
how can you be connecting sex with raising children?
How do you have children?
No, it is a process.
Yes.
But they are not the same.
I think that's okay.
People can still have sex without wanting children, isn't that?
Yes, they can, but the main point for me is raising family together. And when I say family, I mean nucleus family, nuclear family, people who are from you. And I think there's no other way to have nucleus family if not people who come from your loins. And there's no other way people can come from your loins if not children you gave birth to naturally. Don't get me wrong, adopted or whatever children, that's still okay. But I believe before that could happen, there would be some sex going on before the children can come out. And on that ground, I think raising family together and sexual satisfaction or / sexual satisfaction is another good reason people get married. I'll tell you why it is good reason why people get married. You know, Genesis 1:27-28 says, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and replenish the earth. David in Psalm 127 did put it this way, that children are blessings and a precious gift, heritage from God. So, if not raising family together, how then do you have this precious gift? How then do you have this?
I don't disagree that raising a family is a good reason. I just believe that if that is the only reason that you are getting married, that it is a wrong reason.
No, it's not the reason.
I also believe it. Okay, let me put it in right and wrong. Yeah. So, but the issue of sex for me, it's not a right reason to get married, because these are some things that is there today and may not. Some people have gotten married and along the line they are still married but can't have sex.
Yes.
Will the marriage then break down?
No,
based on that. So
it will be, why are they not having sex? For medical reasons, or somebody just feel I don't want?
It could be for medical reasons.
That's
it
fine.
Could be for other reasons that they are. What I'm trying to say is the things that can be there today but not there tomorrow cannot be the reasons why we get married.
Oh no. Everything can be there today and not be tomorrow. Even the one you call values and love, they can be there today and not there tomorrow. So if you say it's not the reason why we get married, things that can be there today, not tomorrow. Because in life, nothing is static. Everything can turn and change. So on that ground, I believe that all these good reasons of getting married, none of them is fixated. None of them are static. They can change, move, and come. So watch what you're saying.
Okay, so we are mixing them together, the right reasons and the wrong reasons. So for me, sex is a wrong reason to get married.
Okay.
Even though, just like love is part of marriage and it will come with marriage. But if I say, okay, so I have stayed too long without sex, for me to have sex, I'm a Christian. If I have sex outside marriage, it is sin. Therefore, now my body is craving for sex. I want to get married so that I can start having sex. So the reason it is a wrong reason is because in that situation, you can then marry anyone. You can then marry the wrong person. You can then marry someone who you are not supposed to marry because you want just to have sex. If you get in, remember, sex is not every day. It's not, for some people, it's not even every week. And sometimes for certain people, it can be, longer than that. So if the period that you are not having sex, will your marriage die? If that is the reason, the only reason you got married, at that point, your marriage will be affected. That's why it is a wrong reason for me.
I agree. I agree with that. I'm not saying it's the right reason, but I say it's part of a reason.
It is so wrong for me because it is like marrying someone based on superficial things like physique, like, okay, he is tall, he's handsome, he has six-pack, she is so beautiful, she is, fair in complexion, she has a big butt, she has a big boob, and all of that. So if you marry based on that, it's the same thing that will happen, because tomorrow it will change. So what are you going to do when it changes? What will you do if it's, for instance, a woman, when they start having children and their body start changing, if the only reason you married them is because of how they look in general? Remember, old age will come and they will change in the way they look. Will you then look at them and say, oh, I don't like her, this is not the person I married, I'm looking for someone else?
I'm not sure why you are sitting right beside me here, yet you do understand what I'm saying. I am saying that I do not think it is the sole reason to marry. It is part of it. Because you woman, can you just go when you get married and you say, well, it's not part of it, I don't want to have sex with my husband or with my wife? No, it will not be the sole reason, but I believe it is part of it. But it depends on the percentage anybody put to it, which I wouldn't attribute so much percentage to.
Okay, so I agree with you. If it becomes the sole reason while you're getting married,
it's wrong.
It's not sustainable.
Absolutely.
So let's move on. And welcome, Tasha. I see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. We do appreciate you. Thank you for your comments and for your contributions. We'll go through them in a moment. Thank you.
Right. The next reason, the next good reason, according to what I have, people get married is desire for partnership and growth.
Okay.
And this person says marriage offers an opportunity for personal and mutual growth through support and collaboration. And I ask why. He says, when both partners are committed to helping each other grow emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually, the relationship tends to thrive.
Okay, so again, for me is a good reason. What do you think?
I think it's a very good reason. I think it's a very good reason.
Why is it a good reason?
Because they say a tree can make a forest, and even Bible do put it this way, that one person will chase 1,000 and two will chase 10,000. If the desire for partnership and growth is there, there will be real need for them to have things together. This is also what we talked about earlier on, like values. They have the same values. Yeah. So if they share the same values, partnering together to achieve that value will become easier. And as such, I believe that it is a good reason for us to partner and then to make those things that we plan to achieve. For me, it's one of the good reasons. I don't really want to marry somebody who wouldn't help me grow or develop personally. That would be a letdown. So for me, it's a top good reason.
Yeah, I think it is a very good reason because it tallies with my top reason, which is shared passion, shared purpose, shared values and goals and dreams. So because if you get someone who is happy to help you develop, help you, become better at those, in fulfilling those dreams and goals, then is a good thing. In partnership is a good thing. It calls for commitment, and people that have commitment and take up their responsibilities. These keywords are part of the things that make a relationship of that nature, marriage we are talking about, to be sustained. But a situation where there is no commitment, there is no responsibility, there is no, then things like competition will start coming in and the marriage will not be that great. So I believe it's a right reason to partner and share and help with growth in the things that we want to do. So it's a good reason for
Thank
me.
you. Yeah.
So which other, do we have another?
No, we need to go to the wrong
reason?
one. But
Okay.
thank you, your friends. People are asking you questions. Maybe might answer
Okay, so thank you, Tasha. So let's see what Tasha is saying. Yes. So yeah, she said value is important. Value is important of something, importance of something, usefulness, and also principles or standards, in my view. Yeah,
I agree. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. There are people who want to get married but don't see themselves as parents or cannot conceive. Yeah.
Yes, that's
so that's why it can be just the top reason to get married. Yeah. So there are also people who do not see marriage as a foundation to create a family. See? So now, is it your top right reason or is it changing?
Taja, there are people who do not see marriage as a foundation to create a family.
Because people can get married, they can have children without getting married.
So how can you create a family outside marriage?
But there are people that are not married but have children.
Okay, they are not married, but
they are raising family. They are raising. In fact, a lot of people are raising
somebody else's children.
No, a lot of people are raising their own biological children from afar. They are in different locations and co-parenting.
How can you raise children from afar? Do you think
that is raising children? That is also raising children. That's why you can't get married, because you want to raise children.
I would write that down. So the topic for discussion. Can children be raised afar, outside marriage? That might be a topic.
People are doing it, and there are some people that it's not what they wanted, but certain situations make them to just not be. They can be under one roof. There are people that are separated based on certain things like abuse, but they have children, they have a family. And there are people that got pregnant but not married and cannot get married for some reasons. They still have a child. They now have a seed that they have to raise, but from different places. And that they don't have to be married to do that. So so Taja, I believe what you said. I'm on the same line with you. So have you, let's read this one. Have you thought about the fact that there are some people who simply feel it's right to marry and cannot explain? Yes.
Why would they marry?
Therefore they throw out the feared reasons that comes to mind. Yeah. So I remember last Sunday that some of the answers that we got was that some people say they just felt like it's time to get married. They have they don't have reasons, and some can't remember why they got married. Really, they needed time to think about it to know why they got married. So yes, it's a very, very good point, Tasha, and I agree with you, because when I interviewed people, I got some answers like that. Some people don't know why they got married. They just fancy the idea of getting married, and they just maybe want to be like others. Maybe, those societal pressures and things, maybe they are feeling like they are the odd one out and all that. They don't really have like these things we are talking about are right reasons. So don't get me wrong, some people married in good faith. It doesn't mean that they see themselves as having married for the wrong reasons, because they don't even have the wrong reasons.
Okay.
They don't have the right or wrong reason. They just fancy the idea of getting married, or think it is time to get married. So there is nothing really they can say for sure that they are pursuing that is making them to get married, that they want to fulfill in marriage, maybe other than just live the normal life, have a partner, someone to get their back, wash their back, have children, and serve God together. Maybe some people are like that. So
Okay.
I agree with you. So yes, some people are committed to religion but don't practice celibacy. It's hard to generalize it nowadays. Yeah, so some people, we said that before, some people get married because of their religion, because they, especially Christians and those who are ministers, who want to avoid temptations, who will be in the midst of or exposed to certain group of people. If, for instance, a young man is now called into ministry and they are maybe 23, 24, the next thing, even their mentors and their parents or families, those that love them, will be advising them that it's time to get married, because they want to avoid the temptation of girls coming. They are still men before of God. They are still women before of God. They still have flesh and blood. So they want to combat that side of, struggle and challenges. And they believe that outside marriage covenant is sin. So they want to do it according to the word of God in the confines of marriage. And that could be the only reason that someone is I actually know someone who got married just like this. I'm explaining. That's their main reason for getting married.
Let's go to the wrong reasons.
Yeah. So
one of the wrong reasons that people get married is pressure from society and family expectations, especially to fit in. Some people marry to meet societal expectation because they have been pushed by families, due time. We got that last 2 weeks. That it's time, so I want to do it now. Yeah. So why I think it's wrong is because external pressure can lead to decision not based on any other thing, because that alone makes it for them to create room for resentment and every other thing that they really don't want to do, because they were externally pressurized into doing that. That is my reason. I think it's not a good reason, because people can push you to do things you really don't want to do because you just want to please the society, fit in.
Yeah, that's a no reason. At least it's like getting married just to be able to have sex or to have children.
Why is that one?
So it's not okay that you allow people to push you into a position that you are not ready for yet, or you are not wanting to be in. So they can't live your life. When you get married, everybody disappears. You are the one in it. What happens within, behind the curtains, they don't know. You have to bear it, and now you are in, especially for people who believe that marriage is for life. So you have to be very careful, because when you get in, you can't come out. And because of that, you have to be sure that this is what I want, especially having the right reasons in place before doing it. So the right reasons help you to choose the right person. Yeah. And we are not talking about a perfect person, because it was also last week that I got that when you say the right person, that the younger generation are thinking you are asking them to get a perfect person to marry. And I was explaining it to a young lady that it is not so. That's not what we mean when we say the right person. what we are saying is that you are, as a person, in line with, the values, the purpose, the direction in life you are going to. Sometimes I give an analogy that you don't want to be like someone who just, had a shower, dress up, come out on the street and stand waving at cars that are passing by, but you don't know where you're going. So if you don't know where you're going, then the first car that passes, that stops for you, you will hop in. You will only find out that they are not going where you're going when you get to the destination. And that's a very sad place to be. You want to make sure that you're going this way, so you will be flagging down the people going that way. And when people stop, you find out, where are you going to, before you enter.
Okay.
Because you are going the same. If they are not going your way, you say, no, I'm not going your way, you can go.
Okay.
And you wait for the right vehicle. So that's how it is. And I think that following society, religion, family pressure, friends, peers, and all that is such a wrong reason to get married. It means that you are not really mentally matured yet to get married. So you should try to be matured first, so that you can decide what you really want.
That's
and
correct.
Then look for it. Yeah.
Another reason, wrong reason people get married is for financial security.
Oh.
Yeah, people get married for financial security because they're looking for stability in their finances. They're looking for somebody who is going to kind of take care of them, or be the one that will make things happen for them. So
yeah, so they say it is common amongst women, but I find that there are some men also that want to rely on someone, a woman,
yes,
so for their financial needs to be met. And so either way, whether it's a man or a woman, it is a wrong reason. Don't forget that when women, when they get married for the right reasons, their husbands will still take care of them. Both of them will still take care of each other financially. But if it is that a young lady or a single person is just waiting for somebody to come so that they can carry totally their financial burden, then that's a wrong reason. Because definitely they are going to, let me not say definitely, it's most likely they will pick the wrong person.
Yeah.
Because the person that have the resources to look after them might not necessarily be the person that they can go on the journey with and be successful or happy. So that's why it's a wrong thing. And this is so common these days, which is why we are also talking about relationship finances, so that people need to go and become financially independent.
Yeah.
You need to find what to do to earn an income, especially if you are healthy. If you're healthy and there is nothing wrong with you, your hands and your legs, you don't have medical condition that is limiting you, you can go out and do something and earn an income, then it's encouraged that you will be encouraged to go and get, your own money. If you are financially stable, then you will be looking for the right person. You will not be so, eager for anybody that have money to become the person that you will marry. So as we talk about this, let's also, put it out there that make sure that you can take care of your financial needs as a single person looking to get married. Because if you don't, then that becomes part of your main reason to getting married, and it's most likely you will pick the wrong person.
Another wrong reason people get married, this is very, very common in the people who live overseas, abroad, in the Western world, is people marry because they want to get their papers.
God.
People also marry because they want to travel abroad. People marry because they believe where they are now that it's going to be better for them if they get papers. And sometimes they marry the wrong person. This is so sad that even people who are married, who just migrated to some part of the world with their children and their wife either living in any part of the world, now marry again because they want to get papers to stay legally wherever they are living.
I think it's the same thing.
Yes.
Don't you think so?
They're
I think it's
acting.
the same thing. It's like economic empowerment becoming the main reason, but not you empowering yourself. It is somebody else coming to empower you.
It's about some
So
financial security.
it is about status and all that. Then it's a very wrong reason, and it's so common in the West that some people actually think it's normal that you live like that, but it's such a wrong reason, because if you ended up and other things are not in place, how far can you go? Another wrong reason is loneliness. So some people just want to partner up because they are lonely. Remember, being alone is different from feeling of loneliness. So some people can be alone, but confidently, doing their things and being useful and occupied. But some people can be so busy, but so lonely. And because of that, they can jump into a relationship which is not what they would have wanted, because they want to solve the need of loneliness, and it's such a bad reason to get married.
That's a very good one. I have also had things like people are worried about their biological clock ticking, and they think, if I don't clock, we can't stop the time of clock keeps going. If they don't do it now, that their biological clock is ticking. Although this is slightly common in women, but this is another reason why people get married wrongly.
I think I will tie it to that desire to raise a family. Don't you think so?
Oh, yeah.
They are the same. Because someone who is so concerned about biological clock, don't get me wrong, it is a valid point, and it can be justified. But is it going to sustain a marriage? So when you get in and then fulfill that, timing, and get the children, have children, what happens with the marriage then? So are you going to be raising children with someone you don't really like, or that you are not, aligning with? What are you going to do? Are you going to say, okay, now I have the children, let's end the marriage because I've gotten what I wanted? So yeah, it's such a, I don't know how to put it, so I am not, sounding offensive, because I believe that it's a valid reason. If you really wanted to get married and all that, you will want to do it on time. But that alone, standing on its own, will not be the right reason to get married, because it will just pass away over a period of time, and then you will have to face the marriage commitments and responsibilities. How would you do that at that point?
That also has a connection with people who believe that they want to please their peers, they want to feel belonged to. That's another reason people could think, I think, what, my elder sister is married, and my friend and
that's
Dorothy,
also pressure. Well, that's the kind of family pressure.
Is that part of family pressure?
It's pressure from family, society, religion, and peers. They are all the same. All your friends are married. You have been going for weddings, being the bridesmaid, being the best man, and now what's going on? You are alone. All of that, or your family are pressuring you. You are past the age. All of that is the same pressures. Let's talk about another interesting one. So some people get married because they want to flee from their situations. So some young people may want to just get out of the house. They want to leave home. They are tired of living with their parents.
Right.
They are tired of, some people do that. Or some people are from maybe some disadvantaged families or something, and they just want to escape from that situation, and they believe that getting married will solve the problem. Unfortunately, it doesn't eradicate the problem, because you are still going in with the problem. So if you think that, oh, I'm from a very poor family, now I want to get married so that I can afford this, afford that, then you will be marrying for economic reasons, which is a wrong reason. If you think, oh, my family is dysfunctional, I want to just get out of this fight and out of this kind of situation that I find myself in so I can be free. It is wrong because it doesn't stop it. It is what it is. And the way to resolve it is not by just running. Just like maybe you are, I'm going to tie it to another reason. So there is another reason that when people have traumas, when they have some heartbreaks, so maybe you have just been divorced or separated and you are still hurting, your soul is still broken, and you think, okay, I'm just going to get married again so that I'll be happy.
Yeah.
So those are wrong reasons to get married, because what you should do is to get healing, go and get some therapy, so resolve the problem within you first so that you can become a whole person. If you are not yet whole, it's most likely you're going to meet someone who is also not whole. And then when it matches together, you'll be two unwhole people. So, and that's not what you want to do, because they have an issue, you have an issue. What kind of marriage do you think is going to be? It will be chaotic. So the best thing is not to run from your emotions and your feelings. The best resolve will be to sort it before. If you even think about it, why carry such load to give somebody else? Do they deserve it? So it is best to resolve it. Don't jump, because you have a problem that you have not sorted, you think that getting married is what will solve it for you. It will not solve it, because the problem is still within you. So that's another wrong reason for getting married.
I agree with that.
I don't know if there is, of course, we can't have an exhausted list, but the ones that we have we covered them?
I have some that you haven't covered. I have a reason that talks about, the way this person put it is physical attraction.
We talked about
We talked about that.
Yeah. We said it's a wrong reason because the body can change. The things you saw can change. Someone who is fit can be unfit tomorrow. Someone who is so flat in their tummy can develop a tummy when they have children, and a man may become sick and their physique changes. So it's a wrong reason to get married.
Have the few ones we have, we've talked about them. You may want to respond to this message from Taja.
Okay, so I don't agree on this biological time. A woman has around 15 years of great and healthy years to create a family. If in those 15 years she isn't able to find a man, then why rushing? Yeah, of course. If you're not able to find a man, you wait. There is no rush in marriage because it's a lifetime thing. If you put it in your head like that, you will want to make sure that is exactly what you want before you get married. And other reasons will not be so important overshadowing the main reasons you should get married. Yes, that is true. So an entering due to pressure is a very, very wrong reason. I agree. Yeah, we have talked about that. So
people didn't do justice to this. He said, why rush? Woman has 15 years of, if she didn't get married within those 15 years, why rushing? She's rushing because she couldn't get married before those 15 years. And she's thinking, okay, since I'm unable to get somebody before those 15 years, anybody that comes my way now, whether he's my spec, whether he's the type of person I like or not, do you know what? I'm going to go for it because the one that I'm hoping for, my top-notch one, is not coming. Anybody that comes my way, I'm going.
Is that a right reason?
It is a wrong reason.
Yeah, so that's what we are talking about, that you shouldn't marry because of that. You would rather not get married than marry because of that, to be honest.
That's okay.
Yeah, because when you finish with the children, you still have a marriage to take care of. Can you at that point?
Difficult.
Yeah.
How about mental health illness? People do marry because they are unable to ascertain their level of mental health illness. They don't know that there's a mental health going on around them, or they do know, but they couldn't figure it out exactly. who is the right person for them, and they believe, do you know what, my mental health is playing up on me now. I don't know what exactly I'm going to do, but I think the first person that comes now, because I've had it wrong all the ways, is the right one. I'm going to go for it. I think that's another reason.
I will believe that to be the fear of loneliness, because the mental health in itself is not a reason. It's not. Nobody marries because they have mental health, unless they are looking for care. If they are looking for someone to come and care for them, take care of them, then it will fall under the category of those who are looking for economic reasons, and those who are looking for sex. Those becomes the wrong reason to get married.
I have a question for Tasha. I still don't agree. If she can't find a man, then her standards are too high. So why rush then and get lower the standard at the end? Now, my question is this: why do women make their standard too high? That's my question from man's perspective, because I have been a young man. I have seen girls that I think, oh, she's really, this one is, so let's have a chat. And by the time you say hello, try to have a chat, they will tell like, make a behavior that you can't get me, you're not for me. And you know these people, this could be for me, but they will try to make their standard high. The question now is, why would they make their standard high when they're at their peak, when they think everyone is going for them? But when they are dropping down in age, they are now easy to pick up somebody who is not their standard. Could that not be something that needs to be enlightened on? Because it's typical women to kind of think, don't get me wrong, people have their choices and preferences. So why is it that usually women want to make their standard high? Why? What's happening? Taja, tell me why.
Okay, Taja, it's your question. Next time, we will be sending you link to join and answer the questions when they are put to you. So what's your answer? For me, before Tasha will say, put her own answer, I will say that it is a mindset problem.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a mindset problem. And even when they start rushing and thinking of the timing and the clock and all of that, it is also a mindset problem.
Okay.
Yes, it's mindset and character problem. That's the kind of things that will make, because anyone that is putting their standards high and, flexing on it, are not thinking of the right reasons to get married. And that's why they will end up with the wrong people. So these are mistakes that we make in life. Yeah, but we will be, before Tasha's answer comes, I will wrap up by saying that whether you are already married for the wrong reasons or for the right reasons, whether you are planning to get married before this, life, and you haven't had this before, or you have had them but have not taken them serious, and now you're thinking, oh, my reasons for wanting to marry this person is actually wrong, thinking about it now. Whatever be the case, there is always a redress. There is always a remedy.
That's correct.
You can always remedy it. If you are still thinking, if you're on the process of marrying the wrong person, you can stop it today. There is no obligation. You have not married yet. And it's much easier for you and better for you to just call it off and look for the right person. If you are already married, it's not going to be the end of your marriage or your relationship. I believe that divorce and separation are not the ultimate resolve of marriage problems. There are some situations where separation will become, or even divorce will become, but there are extreme cases such as abuse or something. But usually there is nothing that cannot be remedied unless people are not willing to work on it.
That's true.
So I would say, even if you have married for the wrong reasons, just start today to rearrange things, talk about it, and, put a redress to it, and you will start sailing on the right platform from today. And on that note, okay, let me read her answer. I also notice how standard changes with women from single parent household or women with a stable family. Yes, that is a point. It depends on where you are coming from. So that's why we said no one is born with a mindset. We are born bare. So you start picking up from your family, society, people that influences around you. You start picking up things. And for some people, until they get other type of influences, they remain adamant that the influence they had is the right influence, and they build a mindset around it, and that forms who they become. And so it's important that if you are in the position of influence, that you influence correctly, because it gets stuck with some people for a very long time. So yes, she had answered you.
Thank
that
you, Sanja.
the reason is
I
based
got your
on
answer.
family.
I get your response there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for those responses. They're very
So
good.
thank you so much, everyone that joined us live, and those that will be watching later. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much, Tasha. We do appreciate you always being there, and other people like Richmond and everyone that joined. I can't mention names now, but we do appreciate all of you, and thank you so very much for keeping us company. You are a good company. So thank you. On that note, we are going to end today's live with that word, that start working on it today. No matter what you believe had gone wrong, there is remedy. You just have to brace up and work on it, and then start experiencing the bliss and an amazing relationship that you always desired. So thank you again, everyone, and bye-bye. Have a good evening.
Bye,
and
everyone.
A good day, a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.